Good morning, universe. It is January 3rd, 2020, and this is Yogi on a Yacht. Today I wanted to say that the law of attraction works. I remembered something when I woke up, and that was something I wrote down. I like to write things with whiteboard markers on my mirrors. You can read them when I look at them. You can see myself. Kind of a fun double take. But I wrote, probably about 3 or 4 years ago now, I wrote that I would be moved out. I was living at my parents' place at that time, in less than 1,000 days. I didn't know where I was going to be. I didn't even start looking for a house yet. But I wrote that down on that mirror. And for some reason this morning when I woke up, that thought came to my head. And I can tell you that it has been less than 1,000 days. That sounds like a lot, but that's really like 3 years or so, give or take, some rounding. And I moved out. I no longer live with my parents. I see them a lot still, and they're a very important part of my life, but I have my own place and the challenges that it brings. And I didn't know what I was doing at the time. I just thought, okay, that's at the stage of my life. I'm in my 20s. This needs to happen. I'm ready for this to happen. I don't know how it's going to happen, but I know I have to write it down. So that was the first thing I remember, really, about the law of attraction. And I would challenge you guys to think about times in your life where that might have happened. If there's anything that you knew for certain was going to happen, and the process of writing it down affirms that, let us know. Write a comment below. Because I think, as Eric Ho puts it, type the learning below to reaffirm it in your subconscious. I think that giving yourself a chance to think about any times in your life where that may have happened, and just to look at it objectively, just to wonder, okay, so my goal was to be moved out, living on my own. I ended up buying a beautiful condo downtown, and I don't know if that would have happened if I hadn't written it down. I don't know if it would have. The point is, writing it down gave it a set point in my subconscious. And I'm currently working on getting things together to build a vision board, which I will share with the universe, of course. But it's been something that I've almost been a little scared of, I guess. That goes in my whole mentality of doing something new and different, doing something that scares you as often as you can. I don't know about doing things daily. I'm trying to do this daily. And it's one of those things that, are you more adhered to the rule you set to yourself, or are you more adhered to the actual commitment? I'm not sure. But I'm enjoying these little chats in the morning, nonetheless. And I'm thinking vision board is something that my next step. So I'm trying to figure out how I want to go about it. I know the simple concept of getting a cork board, some pins, and a few magazines, but I want to be very specific about my vision board because it's almost a little scary. If I put something on there that I don't really want and it ends up happening, that's an interesting thought. I might even put something up there that I don't care about and see what happens. See if that has anything to do with manifestation. And I'm not talking about anything drastic, maybe an inanimate object or something, fairly low monetary value, just to see. Because if you don't believe, it doesn't work. Or at least in my experience. I did a meditation one morning when I was waking up, and it had a whole visualization about a rubber duck. And it said, within the next 48 hours, you will find the rubber duck. You will see the rubber duck. Someone will present to you this. It never happened. And I thought at the time, two conflicting things. I thought, this is kind of neat. Let's see if it happens. And I also thought at the same time, there's no chance in hell that I'm going to see a rubber duck in my life in the next 48 hours. Because I had already thought through and had a certain expectation for how those 48 hours were going to go. And they went exactly as I expected. No rubber ducks. So the experiment, the question is it the act of visualizing it, or is it the belief? And Aaron Doughty has a very interesting video on belief and how it's the lie and then an F, but really was talking about how it's more important to be than to believe, which it's hard to disagree. And I'm going to run that experiment. We're going to find out. I've decided that I'm going to set up this vision board in the next week. Got to get all the supplies together. Not having a car makes that interesting. Buying billboards are not something you commonly see people walking down the street with. But we're going to figure it out. And until next time, universe, have a fantastic day.